And to clear my throat for a second, time for another fragrance review to keep my channel active. Today I'm going to do Dolce & Gabbana's Velvet Amber Sun. Not a very well talked about fragrance or often talked about fragrance whatsoever, but I saw the notes about it and I thought it seemed potentially interesting. So, how would I make it sound if I was to try to describe it in an interesting way? I would say that imagine you walk into a old kind of ice cream shop, okay? Like a wooden tables everywhere. Maybe even when they make ice cream, I'm thinking of something like a pizza for some reason. It doesn't smell like pizza, but there's like, say you have like a wooden oven or something and they put the ice cream in this wooden oven or something like that. But whatever the case, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. And so there's almost like a smoky kind of like incense, there's like a little bit of an older feel, right? Anyway, on the menu, you can either get your vanilla ice cream, let's say in a amber bowl with a wooden spoon, or you can get it in a wooden bowl with an amber spoon, right? Did I mix those up? Vice versa. Whatever I was saying, either or, right? So for an example, let's say that you get the amber bowl, right? So you get this almost kind of like a bit of a plasticky amber, right? It's see-through, almost borderline reddish color of amber, right? A little bit of a fruity kind of amber. So you get your ice cream in this kind of like amber bowl, right? Slightly fruity. That was my stomach, sorry. That was my stomach, guys. I made myself hungry apparently. So you get your ice cream in this amber bowl, and you get this like little wooden incense spoon that you eat the ice cream with, right? And this wooden incense spoon is kind of like melting the ice cream while you eat it, right? And the smoke is kind of like filling your nostrils a little bit, and to the point that this wooden spoon that you're eating the ice cream with even starts to like kind of like get charred a little bit, and so you get a little bit of like wood chips, almost a little bit of a charred little like black specks in your ice cream. And while you're doing this, the amber bowl is also melting into the ice cream a little bit, kind of changing the shade of the ice cream, right, to a little bit of more of an orangish sherbet color, amber ice cream, whatever. But again, the ice cream is melting and you're getting some like kind of like wood chips are almost in the ice cream now. If you didn't want to go with that analogy, I would say you could also say, well, let's take the wooden bowl. You put your ice cream in this wooden bowl, right? And the wooden bowl is kind of like smoky and it's melting the ice cream, right? And so you get your little plasticky amber spoon, and the amber spoon is almost kind of like melting, disintegrating, like I'm thinking like a spoon melts or something like that. It's becoming like kind of like rubbery almost and kind of like melts into the ice cream, right? And the amber's almost be kind of coming like amber kind of like sprinkles now in the ice cream from this spoon or whatever. Again, this wooden bowl is like kind of like smoky, and you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I get. Maybe that sounds good, and I do think it smells good for the majority of the fragrance, but I will say to warn people at the beginning, I do think this smells a little potentially old to me. Like maybe an old grandma served it to you at first. I almost get a vibe of something like, God, I don't think I have any samples near me, but the beginning of it almost gives me, I'm not a note monster, right? So ambers are different mixes of things. I mean, and even when I talk about fragrances in other ways, like a different kind of mix of notes, right? Sometimes there's a mix of amber that kind of is a little bit of like plastic, rubbery, almost fruity, but in a negative way. I do think there's a pinch of that negative kind of plastic, fruity, rubber amberness to this at the beginning. And there's almost like a bit of an old smell to it too. Maybe it's something like almost like amber, like an old school, like something you could imagine like a grandma or a grandpa wearing, like amber precious or whatever the fuck that is called. You guys know what I'm talking about? Well, if you actually are watching a review on this, you probably know what that fragrance is, maybe. But it's got a little bit of that old school. There's a pinch of a little bit. There's a few old people sprinkles on this ice cream, right? But thankfully that doesn't last too long, and you know what I mean. It does get darker and more yummy. You know what I mean, more resinous, I guess, as it goes on. But there is a little bit of a negative aspect at the beginning. Thankfully, personally for me, I do pick up on the smoke. And so when my nose, there goes the camera again. I don't know why my camera does this. Um, so when my nose does pick up on the smoke more, it gives it a little bit of a novelty edge, which makes it a little bit more interesting as well. But again, like I said, for the most part of the fragrance, most part, the majority of this fragrance does smell good, I think. Just the beginning is a little potentially old, I think. Performance was fine, although perhaps disappointing if you think about how much money it costs, because I think it's like, oh God, what is it? Is it like 250 bucks for like a 50 ml? It's absolutely ridiculous. But I do think that a 500 ml is only 500 bucks, isn't it something? So huge price difference, right? Would I get it? Maybe I would get a very small decant if someone got like the 500 ml or something like that. I can't imagine spending a 10 ml on a split for something if it was out at 50, because I don't think it's worth that. But you know, it smells pretty good, right? But I do kind of like, I potentially like amber scents, right? If the mix is right, and if I like sweet scents, right? So, I saw some people compare it to Serge Luton's Amber Sultan. I can see that a little bit. You know, I wore that too recently just to get rejog my memory. But the thing about that is Amber Sultan is much more herbal, much more spice cabinet, old people, very herbal, spicy. I mean, I remember when I first smelled Amber Sultan, I thought it smelled like, oh God, this is really fucking old. But I think once you've been into fragrances for so long, it doesn't surprise you anymore. So, but you know, I can see a little bit of the Amber Sultan, but Amber Sultan is much more herbal, spicy, and older smelling, I think. I can see a little bit of the Tom Ford Amber Absolute that people compared it to. I do get a little bit of that. I can see that. And I saw someone compared this to or I said, oh, Tom Ford's Amber Absolute. I meant some people have compared this to. Did I say that? I can see a little bit of that, and I saw someone say Amber Imperial. What is this? What did they compare it to? I've only smelt it once, and I don't think I've actually ever worn this particular fragrance. What was it? Oh, Van Cleef Arpels Amber Imperial. I've smelled this, I think, on paper a few times, maybe. I don't. I'm not even sure if I've ever actually worn it before, because I've just never had a sample of it. But I've seen, I guess, for Granica, some people are saying it smells similar to that. I can't say for that one. I'm not sure because I don't recall what that one smells like. But anyway, again, I think it's worth checking out. I guess if you like the kind of scents I like. Super fucking expensive. I can't imagine ever fucking buying it, right? But if I had a higher disposable income and a decant was good, I might get it. But again, the opening is a little potentially old. But that's my review on that. Keep on my channel after Fragrance Wise the end.